Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where we make long and short-term investing simple. Today we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ index, at a bunch of stocks surrounding the NASDAQ, and then my expectations of where I believe the market will be going to in the long and medium term. So without further ado, let's hop straight into it. Taking a look at the NASDAQ here, we're currently down 0.48%. However, we're in a very strong position. Let's just take a look at the 1 week chart, and I'm just going to zoom out to the 1 week here. And it's been a very bullish week still. Even though we did get a large rejection, we are still making an engulfing candle, and we are still up 1.12% for the week. If we take a look at September as well, September, we were up 5.18%. And that is a very substantial place compared to where we were in July and where we were in August. So that being said, do I expect the market to be dumping as everybody's expecting? Don't listen to the fear, because we are in a very strong place. There's nothing technical on our chart showing us that we are starting to fade away. There's nothing that's really concerning when it comes to political or economic stances, or even financial stances, as of why the market might start tapering off. And yeah, I may have a pullback of 1 to maybe 3%. However, we are still in a very high place, and we're still making very high highs and higher lows within this bull market. So if you want to talk about things like unemployment rates, how they are a little bit higher than anticipated, if you want to talk about interest rates, how they are 1% higher than the 2% goal, if you want to talk about job openings and that kind of stuff, yes, I can see how that is concerning. However, right now, fundamentals are so strong and earnings are so strong when it comes to all these stocks that make up the market, that fear is just kind of getting left in the rear view window. That being said, if we take a look at the fear and greed index over here, we can see that we've been in neutral. We've been in neutral for the past month, and over a month actually. That's going to show that we're not in extreme greed. We're not getting overly bullish where we're kind of in over our head and not really paying attention to what the charts are telling us or what the stats are telling us. We're also not in extreme fear where we can expect a large pullback. But neutral is a perfect place for a bull market, because it shows that everything is balanced and that we're in a very sustainable point. And it can be seen here as we're constantly making new higher highs and higher lows. And yes, this is a pretty straight move here. But regardless, this is still a very healthy move to the upside here. And this is not even the most aggressive month we've had in this bull rally. If we take a look at months like May and June, we can see that we're up 6.2%, 7.9%, nearly 8% there. So that being said, we are still in a very healthy point. So if you are looking for short entries for the NASDAQ, you're looking to sell the NASDAQ, I'm going to say right now is not the time. Right now, there is very little bearish confirmation. The only thing that I can see really concerning is maybe this bearish candle here. But again, 0.48%. Are you really going to be scared about a candle that's 0.48%? Not only that, it's not a true bearish candle. We did have a large rejection from the downside there to the upside. And right now, if I was looking to get risk off in the market and I was looking to short the market, I would say that I might be looking for short opportunities if we break 24,500. Then I could potentially see ourselves coming back down to about 23,980 or 24,000. If we break that, I could be looking all the way back down to about 23,370. And if we break this, the 22,900 level or 23,000 level, that is looking very, very bearish. And from there, I can easily see the market moving down to 22,100. But the problem is most investors that are not looking at charts, that are making these absurd calls saying that, oh, we're going to move down 20%. It means absolutely nothing. You need to wait for confirmation in the market. And that's why I just broke down where we're moving if we break below these zones, because it's very possible that at any of these zones here, we could very well reject. But if we see confirmation, we see that the bulls are strong, we can see that we have a resistance level that's falling, we can get a better gauge as to where we can expect the bear market to go, as opposed to just shorting the market at any point or closing positions at any point because you think it's quote unquote too high. Humans are the worst investors by nature, and if your primitive brain is telling you one thing, but the logical side of things, like this chart, is telling you another, you probably should be listening to the chart. But let's take a look over at the stock market over here, and let's just take a look at our performance today. It's been pretty mixed, a lot of red to be seen. Tesla, Amazon, Meta, Palantir had a really bad drop off today, 7.5% in the negative. Nvidia was, again, not too concerning, 0.67%. I'm not very concerned about that. But I want to see strength from Netflix. I want to see strength from Amazon. I want to see strength from Costco. These stocks have fallen off a lot, breaking their supports. And right now, I'd love to see a nice rally from those in the short term. But we will take a look at that in a second. One other thing that I'd like to mention, if you are trying to get bearish in the market, we are, as of October 1st, we have entered a government shutdown. Sounds freaky, but it's not. It basically means that the government doesn't have a good budgeting plan yet. They can't agree on something, so they're just waiting for the Democrats and the Republicans to be able to agree on a new budgeting plan. That's literally it. When we do get that agreement at the end of the shutdown, that is very bullish for the market because it shows that we have expectation and that we have a better idea. Even if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, the market typically does rally the longer the freezes are. Back in 2019, you had a freeze for 30 days and the market moved up 16% within 30 days. That being said, this is a very bullish moment for the market. So if you are looking for short opportunities now, I wouldn't say that's the most probable. But let's take a look at a bunch of other holdings here. I want to talk about XRP, not a stock, and I'm not a crypto trader. However, this setup is just so beautiful. We first entered our position over here at the 162 billion market cap line here. And that is a great risk reward of 14%. And as of now, we have our stop loss trailed, and we have our stop loss right underneath our support level here, or right over our support level actually, because we are right above our falling resistance level. We've been stuck in this range ever since about July, or actually let me take a look here. Yeah, July 11th. So the fact that we're leaving this zone and we're ready to make new higher highs is very, very exciting. I can expect to see us come up to 209 for the XRP market cap, or even make a new all-time high. I think 230 is still very conservative, and it's going to give you a great risk reward. If you place a trade now, you are looking for an upside of about, and I have my stop loss right at the previous low here, or you can have your stop loss even here for 2.4 risk reward ratio. But you were looking for an upside of 27.5%. So I think that could be very, very possible. And I'll be very excited to see XRP be rising. I don't like to trade crypto too often. And when I do trade crypto, it's, stable coins, XRP, even like Dogecoin or Bitcoin or Solana. I am very selective with my trades. I only take maybe a couple trades a year, and I have never lost a trade with cryptocurrency. So that could be luck, who knows, or it could be that I am a professional stock trader and that I do have some kind of idea of what to look for in the market. But that being said, I'm currently beating the market by about 150%, that's what my portfolio is all time for cryptocurrency, and I'm not a long-term holder. This is just through swing trades, so I do believe very strongly in this opinion. Speaking about things I strongly believe in, I want to take a look at Fair Isaac Corporation, or FICO. These are the people doing your credit scores in America, and this business model is so perfect. You want to talk about the most perfect business model? It's probably something like passive income, where like companies like Visa, they get 0.01% of every transaction, and it adds up, and there's very little money to be put in. You have great margins, and this is pretty much Fair Isaac Corporation. So when I see that a stock has moved up like this in the past, and let's just take a look. Ever since 2020, let's go to the month that we are currently in, or that I set to buy in August. The market here, it has moved up 330% to where we were in August, and the highest valuation that we went to was 450% from that period. That being said, very strong stock, exponential growth, and I love to see that when it comes to my stocks. Exponential growth, that goes to show that we have a very high chance of making new all-time highs. So when I see the market pull back from its all-time high about nearly 50%, that is a fantastic buying opportunity and a huge green flag for me. So when I see this manipulation, I see a break of resistance, that's when I'm getting in. So we purchased our shares at about 1,500, and as of yesterday, we got some extremely bullish news. That bullish news being that FICO is looking to cut out, and they found a strategy to provide credit scores while cutting out the middleman. So things like Equifax, companies like Equifax, right now, they are not as important as they should be right now, because FICO can do it without paying somebody in between. That being said, the market loved it, and it rallied up yesterday 18%. At its high, it went up 30%. And right now we had another very bullish day of 3.7%. So this is a stock that I've been very bullish on, and if we take a look from where we purchased to where we are now, we're currently up 22% within maybe about 3 weeks or so. So if you are interested in learning all these stocks that I'm placing trades on, you want to learn about all the positions that I'm taking in real time, including the take profit, stop loss, and percentage risk allocation, come take a look at that link in my description, wap.com/tmpfinance. We are beating the market by something absolutely absurd. I believe for our NASDAQ trades, this is just our NASDAQ trades alone. After our 9 times leverage, we're currently beating the market by 270%. And when it comes to our individual stock trades with 3 times leverage, we're currently beating the market by 680%. So if you're interested, you already know what to do. Come take a look at that. But right now, for Fair Isaac Corporation, I am expecting new all-time highs. This news is extremely bullish, as seen with this day here. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I would like to see a take profit of at least 2,000. I think we can easily close above 2,000. If we close above 2,000, I'm easily looking for a new all-time high, or even to come back up to about 2,400. But that's going to be a pretty significant resistance in the future. Let's talk about another stock that I am heavily believing in, and that is Berkshire Hathaway. It's one of the most undervalued stocks when it comes to the NASDAQ 100 to be in the top 20 stocks. And right now, Berkshire Hathaway is dying. It's begging to break above its resistance line here. So we did have this resistance line that started in May 2nd of 2025. And we can see our second touch here in September 3rd and September 4th. And right now, we did have a breakout and then a fake out, and I'm waiting for another strong breakout. I want to see on the daily chart. Now, why the daily chart instead of like the 1 hour chart? It just means that you have better confluence, you have a better probability. So as soon as I see that, because you could have got faked out twice here, but as soon as I see a nice strong breakout and continuation for the day after, that's when I'm placing my trade. And I can receive something like a 10 risk reward ratio if I'm targeting a new all-time high at 560, which I think is very, very probable. Berkshire Hathaway is always making new all-time highs. It beats the S&P and the NASDAQ in terms of annual percentage per year attained. So that being said, I think 560 could be a very good take profit. And I think that since we have a lower low marked here and a very strong support at 495, I think that this will be the lowest period that we will see if we break above $500 a share, especially with a lot of volume. So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to Berkshire Hathaway. Very, very bullish with that. Let's talk about another stock that I'm heavily believing in, and that is SPGI. You have this incredibly strong support line here sitting at 477. This is a previous zone that we've gotten a lot of rejections from that we haven't really been able to break down below for any long period of time. And it's also a very strong previous all-time high. Great confluence as a great support level. So when I see that the market is dipping below it, getting its feet in, and coming back out, that is a great sign that I'm looking for a potential move to the upside for SPGI. The average analyst rating for SPGI is sitting at $620 a share. Average. That's between about 30 different analysts that are sitting on Wall Street or Bloomberg or wherever your massive trading is going on. But especially right now, low risk trade. Placing your trade now, having your stop loss right at the low of today or the low of yesterday, or just a break of the support level here, and then targeting something very conservative like 532, where we can see another support level or resistance level. It's going to give you a great risk reward of 8.89. If you're looking for that 620 profit, take profit level, I think that is very highly probable, especially when we get to 532. I'm going to say it's more likely that we'll get to 620 rather than break below 477 again. But if you look for 620, you're looking for a fantastic risk reward of 23.77 or a take profit of 29%. And yes, that's absurd. Yes, that's not typical. However, nothing about my trading is typical. Nobody beats the market by 670%. We've been making crazy trades when it comes to AMD, Tesla, you name the stock. We are making incredible entries. We just made this actually, let me show you this entry here for NASDAQ. We just took this trade here, and I'll show you on the 5-minute chart what that was looking like. We made this yesterday. And within about, I want to say 36 hours, we cashed out for 2% on the chart or 18% after our leverage. And just take a look at this entry here. Yes, I'm up at 3 a.m. making these trades for you to follow along with. And take a look at this entry, super, super clean. And we had this take profit called from previous times, and we took profit very, very close to where the market was able to reject from. But that being said, a lot of accuracy going on in the TMP Finance Discord community. Another stock that I'm looking out for is none other than Visa. I'm going to give you this one here. Visa stock is always making new all-time highs too. Again, great fundamentals, great business plan here, just like FICO. I think this is going to be a timeless company here, and one that's not going to go out of business anytime soon. Average analyst price for Visa is sitting at about $410 a share. I have my take profit right under 400 psychological level at 395. We just got a breakout of resistance, and I'm looking for a take profit that's 13% higher than where we are right now, with a risk to reward of 7.14 if I have my stop loss right at the swing low. But that is pretty much my outlook for the market here. There's a lot of great stocks to be buying. I'll show you this one quickly for CMG as well while we're here. Same thing as Visa, break of resistance line here. The average price for analysts is something like mid 50s or high 50s. So that being said, great risk rewards to be taken here, lots of upside to be seen. But that's pretty much my outlook for the market. I am very bullish in the market because there's no reason for me not to be bullish. That being said, those who are shorting the market right now, you should not be listening to them. Why? Because if they are shorting the market right now, they're losing a whole lot of money, and that's based on a very irrational stance as well, as we haven't had any, again, bearish confluence. So that's it for me today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys had a great week, and I will be seeing you guys on Monday. Take care, y'all. Peace.